Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
To a Thursday edition. You know where we're at. If it's the Young and Norvelle Show on a Thursday, it is the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar. Having a great time here. Been here for a while. Hope you can come by, say hi, enjoy the show live, or if you can't, keep consuming the show as you are on social media, the Young and Norvelle Show on all social media. Please follow us every single day, Monday through Friday. Terry Norvelle. We'll catch up with Patrick Young. Zach Rothrock is producing a lot to get to. Oh, my. The Jacksonville Jaguars holding on right now at 0-2. The stats say an 0-2 start is a death knell. We'll talk about the Jaguars' next game. They don't play until Monday. Where do they go? Where are they right now? Have you been fooled? Have you been too optimistic? Did the fluffy local Jaguar media get you again, as I suggest? We'll talk about that. Jaguars in a tough spot. We'll also today on the program look at the entire AFC South. I think, and Zach and I were talking pregame, or pre-show, I should say. Zach and I were talking. I don't have this stat. And I don't know if it's an actual stat you could actually look up, but let me put my reading glasses on for this. Coming up on week 3 in the NFL, let me give you the games for the AFC South teams, okay, of which obviously the Jaguars are part of the AFC South. You have Houston, the Texans at Minnesota. Now, on paper, that looks like one of the 2 or 3 best games in the league this weekend. So, Houston at Minnesota. Houston 2-0 at Minnesota. You then have Green Bay at Tennessee, the Titans. This weekend, you have Chicago at Indy, the Colts. And, of course, we know you have Monday Night Football, the Jacksonville Jaguars at Buffalo, okay? So that is the AFC South schedule coming up. Do you realize that, and it would not be a stretch, but I'm just going to throw this out there. Do you realize it would not be a stretch if Houston goes into Minnesota and beats Sam Darnold and those guys? Is this the weekend that the Sam Darnold thing is go? Okay. So it would not be a stretch if Houston on the road goes in and beats Minnesota and goes to 3-0. I don't think anyone would say it would be a stretch if Green Bay, I don't care if it's Jordan Love or Malik Willis or whoever, I don't think many people would say, you know what? It would be a real stretch if Green Bay goes into Tennessee on Sunday and beats the Titans. With that, we move on. I don't think many people would say it would be a huge stretch for the Chicago Bears to go on the road and beat the Indy Colts and AR. With that all said, I don't think many people, other than people that are wearing black and teal underwear that say Jaguars, I don't think many people think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win on Monday Night Football coming up over the Buffalo Bills. Now, with that all said, do you guys realize, and Zach, I don't know if we've got Patrick on yet. I want one of you guys to comment, at least, or both of you guys, to comment on what I'm about to say. Do you guys realize, and I do not, and Zach, you've been busy too. You're trying to produce a show. I understand. I did not have time to look this up. There is a very good chance, Zach Rothrock,
Right,
producer, the Young and Norvelle Show, there's a very good chance that by the time we're done with week 3?
this will be week 3, yeah.
By the time we are done with NFL week 3, which is the end of Monday Night Football coming up, of which the Jaguars are playing, Zach, do you realize there's a very good chance that the AFC South division could have 3-0 Houston, 0-3 Jacksonville, 0-3 Tennessee, and 0-3 Indy? Zach, has that ever happened before?
I mean, yeah, that's tough. I mean, that's definitely really bad. That's definitely an interesting thing to try to bring up, and we did kind of try to look it up. I don't really know how to word that to make that come up. I'd have to get the whole ESPN archive. Yeah,
I agree.
But it feels like it hasn't. I bet that if it hasn't, and then it does happen, I bet that it will be known that someone will pick that up, and yeah, it'll be known.
Ooh.
But yeah, I mean, what could be the earliest? I mean, like, in theory, what could possibly be the earliest that they could clinch a division? I mean, they if they kept on trending in that direction, they could clinch it by week 10, I guess.
God, that's so mean of you, Zach. I'm glad you said that. And you did not say that from an anger standpoint. You just said that from a
just genuinely curious.
Yes.
Right.
But you're so right. And you know what? The NFL is so wacky. This whole premise that we just laid out will probably be all, but there's a very good chance that Houston could be 3-0 at the end of this NFL weekend, which goes through Monday Night Football, and the rest of the AFC South could be 0-3. And Zach, you hit it. Houston, it would be kind of over, wouldn't it? They could go 500 the rest of the way and quasi win the division 3 weeks in.
Yeah, they can make it where they just barely. Yeah, they could just split the division game, just go 3-3 against everyone, and still just kind of run away with it.
Oh, hey, we're gonna have Marcel Robinson, our buddy from Action Sports Jax. He is probably right now driving back from the Jacksonville Jaguars locker room, where he was down there getting sound and video for Action Sports Jax. We do a tremendous job, and we'll catch up with Marcel hopefully in the next segment or so. Very interesting conversation I hope to have with Marcel. And Zach, if you can pop up, I know you're busy on the back end, but man, the first thing I'm going to ask Marcel is, and keep in mind, he's in the locker room around the Jaguars day in, day out, getting sound, getting video. And Zach, I think you will agree with me. The 0-2 start is one thing. The play on the field is one thing. We see the play on the field. We see the third down they can't convert. First down they get stuffed. We see all that. We see it. But it appears, and I don't know how to put my finger on it as we welcome Patrick Young to the show. Pat, with regard to the Jaguars, I don't know how to describe it, but it just feels like there's something else going on in and around that team. Patrick, it doesn't feel right around the Jaguars. And I get it. When you're 0-2, it shouldn't feel right. But are you with me? I don't know if it's who's calling the plays, who's picking the players. Something just doesn't feel right around Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is there a word that you would use for not feel right?
I don't know, Pat. Help me.
Confusion? Because I haven't seen, so I can't put a word on not feeling right. Well, I mean, I guess you can just say, they're not in sync. Like there's just, the team just isn't in sync, and you can use whatever word you want to describe that, what it looks like, because there is confusion. There is a level of despondency, just thinking,
good word.
Man, I mean, we want to get better. But our O-line sucks.
They're terrible.
And I
told you they were going to be terrible.
But my thing just is like, did Doug Peterson and I was listening to our buddy Frank Frangie earlier today,
Okay.
and he was like, I got sucked. He's like, I got sucked into it too.
Yeah.
This belief that just because these guys are a year here longer, that they're going to get better.
Yeah.
And he said, he's like, a team that goes whatever our record was last year is not going to just improve because you got older legs and do better the next season. There's so many comparisons with the Gators and the Jags, man. It's just it's uncanny, man.
Oh, I hear you. And obviously, you're fine bringing up my buddy as well, and you're good friends with Frank Frangie, the voice of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, he obviously is saying, hey, you know what? The answer isn't, well, they're going to figure it out. Well, Barch on the offensive line, he's been in the NFL long enough. He is what he is. And Muma and some of those linebackers on defense, they've been in the NFL 3 and 4 years now. They are what they are. I just don't think the next year is going to change.
I mean, who do you keep? You keep Foyer just because he's a tackling machine, but as a middle linebacker. Yeah. But I mean, this is what, year 4 for Devin Lloyd.
Yeah.
Year 4 for Chad Muma.
Yeah.
Cisco's been here a while. I just don't see like
they are what they are. And
where you look at these guys and ever think like you don't look at these guys and look, you're not always gonna get elite talent.
No.
You at least want guys that can show flashes of being elite from time to time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now
they're going to be slow and steady Eddie, but at least not make the mistakes, man.
Yeah. Now I want to go back in reverse a little bit, and
I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you for not making the event because it was awesome. Coach Martin was there.
Sorry. Patrick's talking about a lunch event he spoke at today with a bunch of attorneys. Dude, I totally forgot about them. Now, can I try and save myself here, Patrick? May I try and explain? Okay, I will say this, and I hate to get personal, but I will say this: we had Patrick had a big speaking engagement today. Excuse me, at lunch to a big attorney function.
It was a lot. Right? It was like 200 attorneys there. It was so many people. Oh my God!
And I was scheduled to be there as well, and just kind of shake hands and kiss babies and meet attorneys because we're looking for a sports and courts attorney. Patrick, I am so sorry, but my only comeback is, and this is not a comeback because I'm a grown-up and I should follow my schedule, but, and I don't want to pull the covers off too far, but my oldest brother, Randy Norvelle, is battling through some health issues. And I got a call yesterday, really once we went off the air, that my brother Randy, my dear older brother, who has been a spectacular role model for me, 10 years older than me, my older brother, we couldn't reach him. We couldn't get him to answer his phone, and he's fighting cancer. And I hate to do this, but he's fighting cancer. We couldn't get a hold of him, text or call. And you know what, Patrick? When we got off the air yesterday, I wrapped up the gear, and I needed to go, and I drove to the west side. He was okay. He was just kind of resting, and he was okay. And I got him dinner and all. But what I'm going to plead to you, and I don't believe you should give me this out, it kind of threw my night. I got home about 9:30, right, which is very late last night for me, and it threw me off, and I forgot our event. I'm so sorry, Patrick Young. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay, man. I wish you could have been there because Coach Martin was there. Man, it was really cool.
Talk to me about the event.
Yeah, it was really cool. Coach Martin said a few words. Like, it was an hour, the whole event, the whole thing. Attorneys are, and it's so funny, man. Attorneys are so 6 minutes. That they operate in 6-minute intervals constantly. So Craig Shoup did a great job of letting me know beforehand. He's like, hey, man, it's better to go 5 minutes short than go 5 minutes long, which I'm really glad that I did a great job of that. But Coach Martin went up there and talked and said some really kind words for me, man. And I got a chance to say some nice things too for him, because it's like, Coach Martin, it's been 15 years since I've been in high school and played for him. I played for him 1 year.
And but you've seen him before, right? Patrick, you've seen him in the interim. Hopefully, you've run into
the
him
15
somewhere.
years, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was getting to, and I
Pick it
said
up. Go
because
ahead, I'm sorry.
1 year with Coach Martin winning a state championship, that's not what that might be where our relationship started, but our relationship is far more than just living in the past.
Nice.
And he's been a role model to me. He's been a wonderful husband to his wife that's been ailing with dementia.
Totally
So he said it's been the hardest thing in his life, and I can't even imagine.
He's done a great job.
But it reminded me of my grandmother and grandfather. My grandfather passed away that last December, and they've been married for 67 years, and this is the first time my grandma's ever had to live alone. So
67.
It's been a really tough transition.
Patrick, stop. Your grandmother and grandfather were married for how long?
They got married at she was 19 and he was 22.
And if you do the math, that's 67 years.
67 years. He passed away at 89.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
That's a long time, isn't it, man?
Oh my God!
How many people do you become? How many different people do you become in 67 years?
I mean, but how much love do you have to have hooked up without a breaking bond? And I remember last year when your grandfather passed away, I happened to be, part of your life a little bit, and your mother and your father. How much love do you have to be married 67 years?
Terry, my parents have been married almost 40, and I don't know if I hope she's not listening. I don't know if love is the driving force. I don't know if love is still the driving force, but
nice.
they and really good advice, for those that are married or about to be married or whatever. There is part of you that you let your partner just kind of do their own thing. If y'all don't have like a super lot of stuff in common, obviously, and there's a trust with that. But my parents, they let each other kind of do their own thing. There's no controlling, there's no we have to do this. And I think it gives them the freedom to, because they have a respect for each other still. But yeah, it's funny. Yeah, 67 years, man.
All I know is I'm coming up on my 60th birthday. Okay, I'm coming up on being around this earth 60 years. I don't even like myself after 60 years, much less another human being. Right, Patrick? I'm sick of myself. Right?
No comment.
Hey. So how did the?
I like you, Terry.
Hey, we'll go to break.
Terry, I like you if that counts.
It does count, Pat. We'll go to break in a moment, but talk about. So you made a presentation to a large attorney function today. How did it go? What did you talk about? How'd it go?
Yeah, and it was only 20 minutes is a short amount of time to talk, and I thank Craig. And Craig, awesome. He knows. I talked to him afterwards, Terry, and he knows two people that may really be interested in doing the sports and courts with us. He's gonna work on that on our behalf. Which I'm super home. But let me make sure my phone doesn't overheat here.
He's a good dude.
My phone.
Craig Shoup is a great dude.
I made some jokes. I talked about a little bit of handling adversity. I gave him 3 takeaways. I said that your 3 main takeaways when in this world you might think, I don't have an influence, I don't have impact, I'm not special, I'm not, I need to be, only way I can have impact is if it looks this way. Because I was like, you don't have to be on the stage. And I said, honestly, I think I've spoken, 50, 60, 70 times.
Sure.
There has been impact from that, but more impact has been made in the people that I meet on a daily basis.
Sure.
When I get to interact with them and share break bread. And I said, that is something we are all capable of. You are unique and you have your platform of people that you can influence. So I said, cultivating self-awareness, number 1. Number 2, your best days are not behind you. A lot of people think that. I'm not going to, I don't live that way, because if I lived that way, I wouldn't be the way I am. I'd be bitter, mad, angry. I should still be playing basketball, blah, blah, blah. You got to be relentless to stay in the present. The rear view mirror in life, the rear view mirror in a car allows you to look backwards, and you can't actually go in reverse. In life, you can look back, but you can't go in reverse. And the last one was simple. for all of us, be the light. We all talk about they should be doing that. They should be doing that. These people, those people. Be the example that you want to see in this world. Be the light. It's a simple message, but it's profound because guess what? You get to control that.
It's funny that, Patrick, you and I have gotten to be pretty good friends. I hope I can say that over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And
barely. Slim margin.
Yeah. But I mean, our age difference is a little bit. I'm pushing 60. You're 32-ish. But
yeah,
I have learned so much through you, and I probably don't tell you enough. Thank you. But I've learned it's amazing. You never can stop learning. I've learned so much about life and where I'm at, and you can't daily wake up and go, what about me? Why didn't I get this? Why, you just can't do that, And I've learned a lot through you, even though our age difference is you're like what, 2 years younger than me. Wink, 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 wink.
Yes.
Wink, wink.
No, man, it's been and I by no means take like my wisdom, if you want to call it that, is through experience and figuring out what doesn't work. When as an athlete, and we got to be real, a lot of athletes are very self-centered. Everything's about me, and I don't blame them because that gets enabled at a certain point. If you're a really good athlete, people coddle to that and they worship you in a way, idolize you, and that can get to your head easily. Man, it can get to your head. That's why, I'm so. Trevor is so easy to kind of cheer for because you don't get a hint of arrogance or jerkness from him. And then, life just taught me, instead of waking up to go get what is everybody, because that's thinking the world is fair, Terry, right?
Yeah.
It's not. What can we give? What can you give to the world today? And I hope, for us, it's so easy. Give does not have to be money. Can you give kindness? Can you give a smile? Can you give a laugh?
Well said.
Can you give an ear?
Come on, man. What you're saying is, you know what? I mean, if you're a celebrity because of athletics, and we'll stay at the college level before we go to break real quick. If you're a celebrity at that level, yes, the girls come around probably a little more, right? If you walk in a place and, hey, that's the quarterback, that's the point guard, that's the power forward, that's the
it doesn't even suck, even if you're ugly.
Yeah. But I mean, that comes around. The hey, I want to buy him a drink. I want to buy him a drink. I want to buy all that comes around. But I mean,
full transparency. I took advantage of that many a times.
But is that real? At some point,
no.
The realness has to show up, and I don't know that world, but I've seen that world, and you're like, at some point, you're either real or you're not. And just going out there and fancy walking around and, hey, I don't even need my wallet. I'm just going to go out because I'm XYZ. That's going to catch up with you, isn't it? Isn't it, Patrick?
Right. Yeah, because it's just like this arrogance that, everything is given to me. Life is easy. I don't have to work for anything. And look, athletes do work their butts off to get to that level, but that's sports. That's sports. That's not life. You know what I'm saying? That's not every day. I'm not going to run late.
Hey, Pat, hang tight. We're going to take a quick break here. Zach Rothrock, our producer as well. We're going to step aside. When we come back, I think we've got a few minutes before we get Marcel Robinson from Action Sports Jags. He was in the Jaguar locker room today. I want to, you and me, kind of pick his brain a little bit. What's going on with the Jaguars down there? But, Patrick, when we come back, let's go ahead and do our show versus show picks. You and I and Zach, we are in second place. We're one pick behind. We are 7-5. I think the leader, we're one pick behind. And we've got 6 games, 3 college, 3 pro to pick, 3 NFL for this weekend. Let's knock out our picks. We got to come together. We got to have a come-to-you-know-what meeting and decide where we're going. But let's go ahead and make our show versus show picks on the other side. The Young and Norvelle Show coming back after this quick timeout. I'm on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent Austen Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
So you are in the mood for some seafood. What to do, where to go? Well, if you're in the Neptune, Atlantic, Jacksonville Beach area on the east side of the ditch, you can't go wrong. We are set up, you know it by now. Our Thursday home is Sliders Oyster Bar, and they feature Safe Harbor Seafood. The Safe Harbor Seafood docks are, I'm telling you, look, right there. So that seafood comes out of the ocean, and it goes basically right on your plate. The freshest seafood, the best seafood can be found at Sliders Oyster Bar. Boy, if you've got family members in, friends, business colleagues, and you want to really impress them with, hey, what's the good seafood in this area, North Central Florida? Well, there's no other place to take them. Sliders Oyster Bar. I'm here. Patrick Young joining us. We got Zach Rothrock.
It's got to be a rule of thumb. It's got to be a rule of thumb, Terry, that you don't buy seafood in a place that's landlocked. If it's landlocked, you don't get seafood.
Good call. Good call, because right there, if I took off, hey, Patrick, if I threw this headset down and I went crazy, man, and I just started running as crazy, I'm about 125 yards away from the Atlantic Ocean. I could be in the ocean.
No, thank you.
As crazy man. But I'm not crazy. Okay. I promise I'm not crazy, man. All right, guys. We have tomorrow. We're going to do.
Who do you got to convince of that one, there, Terry?
You shut your filthy mouth, Patrick.
I'm asking
Young.
who.
You shut your filthy mouth. All right, we got to get together. It is show versus show. Today we'll do our picks from show versus show. 4 shows that pop up on our wonderful stream here, our sports stream on Action Sports Jax. You know it, Brent Austen, our show, M&M, and I do believe our Saturday show is our college NFL show. So all 4 shows, we've been doing picks. 3 college, 3 pro. Patrick, Zach Rothrock, so far we're second place. We're doing good. We're 1 game behind first. We're doing good. And this is where we have to kind of we get together, right? Nobody determines our picks. We do it as a threesome, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and get going. You ready, Pat?
I'm ready.
You ready, Zach?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's talk our way through this. Game number 1 in the college world for our show versus show picks. Florida at Mississippi State. The Gators are -6. So the Gators would have to win by over 6, or Mississippi State would have to win by, right, cover the 6. Less
We're
than
sure
6.
this is right. You're sure you're not reading this backwards?
No, they say -6. Florida is favored. Guys, where do we go? Do we take the Gators to win by more than 6? Do we take Mississippi State to win? And, when you take the underdog, you get a double pick, right? They could either win or win by the points, right? If you take the underdog. So where do we go, guys? Mississippi State -6. Mississippi State +6. The Gators would have to win the game by more than 6. Mm-hmm. Where do we go as a show, guys? Talk it out.
There's nothing in me that believes the Gators are going to win. This is their most winnable game. Yeah. This is the most winnable game they have left on their schedule. Thank you, man.
Zach, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, definitely as a road favorite. There's no
first road game too.
Mississippi State. Yeah. We got to go Mississippi State. That's
2 quarterback system.
Eugene Wilson out for the game. Florida is running out some walk-on receivers. I agree. Can we take MSU +6? So even if Mississippi State loses, if they lose by 6 or less, we're going to win, right?
Yeah.
Let's take Mississippi State. Is that okay, Patrick? You good? Thumbs up?
I'm good with that. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Okay. Game number 2 that we have to pick, show versus show. And by the way, this means a lot. At the end of the season, if we win, we're going to talk a lot of smack. If we lose, it's just a stupid game. Okay. Game number 2, Southern California. Lincoln Riley and the boys, they travel 3/4 of the way across the country. USC at Michigan, guys. USC -5. So Michigan is getting +5. Where do we go, fellas? USC at Michigan. The Trojans would have to win by more than 5 if we take USC. Michigan would have to either win or lose by 5 or less. Where do we go, guys? Patrick Young,
Go ahead, Zach. You start off, Zach.
I have a hard time riding with Michigan this year for any circumstances, but they lost their main guy, and I don't mean Jim Harbaugh. I mean Connor Stallions.
Quarterback. Good call.
I mean Connor Stallion is the main. That's the main guy they really lost. Connor Stallions.
Not that he's gone. But
that's what I'm saying. They lost him.
Michigan is going to start their running quarterback. They're having quarterback issues. Their quarterback they thought would be here is at Syracuse. He's transferred. Patrick, I'm kind of leaning with Zachary Rothrock. I'm kind of leaning USC and give 5
I'm leaning there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take USC -5. I think when it's done, USC wins by a couple touchdowns. I think so. They win by a couple. Okay, guys.
14.
Our final show versus show game in college is the Tennessee Volunteers. Boy, oh boy, what an offensive performance they put on the first couple games. Tennessee is at Oklahoma. All the storylines. We know Josh Heupel, the Tennessee coach, graduated and played at Oklahoma. He won a national title at Oklahoma. We know all the storylines. Tennessee on the road at Norman, they are minus 6.5. So Oklahoma would have to win by 7, or if we take Tennessee, they got to win by more than 6.5. Patrick Young, where do we go first here? Oklahoma hosting Tennessee, the Vols giving 6.5 points.
Oh, man. I think Tennessee wins the game.
Okay.
But I think it's close. I think it's maybe a 3-point game, 1-point game.
Okay.
Less than, I think 3 points or less. I think it's going to be 3 points or less.
Okay,
so,
Zach, that's Patrick's theory. Zach Rothrock, our producer extraordinaire. You heard what Patrick said. We got to do this together. These are show picks, okay? Tennessee is giving 6.5. They roll into Norman with all that offense. There's a lot of storylines. Zach Rothrock, what are you feeling? And maybe I'll break the tie, but what are you feeling on this game?
Right. I mean, yeah, like in general, I really don't like the idea of going against a home underdog, going with a road favorite. But like Patrick, I do like Tennessee's offense. Their quarterback has been one of the best in the league, and I'm with Patrick. I'm with Tennessee too.
Okay.
Yeah, Nico's been great, man.
Hey, Patrick and Zach, I'm going to make it a clean sweep. Let's take Tennessee minus 6.5. So they have to win the game by a full touchdown, a 7-point touchdown. I'm fine with that. I can't wait to watch the game. I want to see if Tennessee's real. I want to see if Oklahoma's been laying in the woods, but I like that. All right, guys, 3 NFL games we have to pick here for our show versus show. Texans. The Texans, they are Houston. The Texans 2-0. They're really good. I think we all agree they're good. The Texans minus 2. They're given 2 at the Minnesota Vikings, who have been a bit of a surprise. Do we take Texans to win? Will they cover? They can only cover by like 1 point. What do we do, boys? Texans at Vikings. Texans minus 2. Zach Rothrock, your thoughts first.
I mean, yeah, the Texans are one of my favorite picks to win pretty much every game this year. I once again, I don't really like giving up points on the road, but the fact that Minnesota they're coming off the big win, the big upset win. Teams that do that a lot of times the next week, they kind of they come out a little bit more flat. So I like Houston.
Yeah.
Patrick Young, I want to hear
I can lean with you there. I need to see Sam Darnold. I need to see him a little bit more before I can just dive in, because he's great, and I love to see that he's having this redeem. And it sucks. Him and Baker Mayfield having played at Carolina goes to show you what they're doing over there. So I want to lean towards the safer side of the Texans with all that they have and the potential. It's going to be tough. I think it will be a close game, but I think the Texans get this by 3.
Because it's at Minnesota. But Patrick Young, Zach Rothrock, I concur with both of you. I say we take the Texans winning the game by more than 2. They're minus 2. I think the Texans will win this thing by a touchdown or a touchdown and a field goal. Let's take the Texans. Is that okay? Yes, It is okay. Eagles, minus 2.5 at the Saints. Are the Saints that good? Is it just early?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Where do we go, Patrick Young?
I didn't even realize the Eagles should not have lost that game. So, man, okay, yes, Saquon dropped that pass. Mm-hmm. Why are they passing the ball in the first place? Mm-hmm. Run it, and then guess what? Tush push.
Good point.
Even if you don't get it.
With that said,
drive me crazy.
Do we go Eagles? Do we go Saints? The Eagles are minus 2.5.
I think the Saints are legit, man. I think the Saints are legit. I last year you could see spurts of the Saints being really good. They just didn't have it all meshed together.
Okay.
And I think maybe another year for Derek Carr has given them that, instead of it coming in flashes, we're seeing it in consistency now.
Okay. Zach Rothrock, if Patrick is correct, the Eagles are pretty much behind the 8 ball and out of the playoff run. How do you see Eagles, Saints, Eagles minus 2.5? So they're getting a couple points, right? What are your thoughts on that game before we pencil it in?
So it's -2.5, and it's in New Orleans, right? The Eagles are -2.5, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I kind of like the Eagles for the same reason that I was going against the Vikings, and I do think that the Saints with the Clint Kubiak as their offensive coordinator, their offense looks a lot different now. They've scored on every drive with Derrick Henry so far. But the Eagles coming off, they just got upset on Monday Night Football by the Falcons. I think they're going to bounce back, and I think they'll win. I think they'll cover too.
And Patrick, if this is okay with you, I'll kind of be the middle guy and give you what I think. Unlike what Zach just said, this to me is a classic NFL game. You know what? The NFL, you don't win more than 2 in a row, and you don't lose more than 2 in a row. I think the Eagles on the road are going to play their ass off. And I'm not so sure. New Orleans is good, but it might be time for New Orleans to hit a couple speed bumps. If you guys are okay, let's take the Eagles to win the game -2.5. I think they'll win. Is that okay, guys?
Yeah.
Patrick?
Go for it. I've been out vetoed. Can't wait to rub it in your face.
-2.5. Zach, you okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm with you. And it sounded like, okay, final game, guys. Patrick, I'll volley back to you. Our final game in our show versus show weekly picks contest. The big bad Kansas City Chiefs with their Super Bowl trophies and their publicity and everything. Kansas City is at the Falcons. The Falcons. Kansas City -3.5. Do we think Kansas City will win and win by more than 3.5? Patrick Young, what say?
You know what's dangerous about this game? You know, the Falcons have not got to win, but they haven't looked great. But this is one of those games when the number one team comes in and you play your butt off. They just look like soup. If this was game one, week one, easily I choose the Chiefs. I'm just nervous about it. I lean definitely more towards the Chiefs to win this game, but I think the Falcons are going to bring some hell at this game because this is you're going against the number one team. Like you don't want to get blown out at home, but I think the determining factor of this game is going to be how well the Falcons O-line can handle the Chiefs D-line, and I don't think they're going to do very well. So my final nail in the head, Chiefs are going to win.
All right, so you're fine with giving a few points. Chiefs win. Zach Rothrock.
2 points, yeah. I'll happily give 2 points.
Hey,
it was just
it's -3.5, so the Chiefs have to win by 4 or more. Zach, you heard Patrick Young using all those curse words and just talking dirty. And do you agree with filthy mouth Patrick Young or not? Where are we at? This is the final game. Where do we go? Where do we go, Zach?
That half point, the 3.5 does make it sneaky, but I'm with Patrick. I'm with the Chiefs.
All right, I'm
hard
with
to go
you
against
too
them.
as well. I think Chiefs win, but let me put -3.5, which means we all think Chiefs win, but they win by more than 3.5, by 4 or more. I'm okay with that, Patrick. Zach. All right, so we're down. Listen, guys, we're going to break here. We need to go ahead and we're in second place right now with those other shows. Guy. Okay, let's take a break. We'll come back. Marcel Robinson will join us fresh from the Jacksonville Jaguars locker room. But, guys, we really need to take first place. Okay, we're in second place now. Have you seen the other teams? I mean, come on, guys. Guys, talk to me. Talk to me here. Let's take a break.
We're still close enough where a team can jump us. So
I know.
We really need to get these 6.
As we go to break, Zach Rothrock, producer extraordinaire for the Young and Norvelle Show, I want you to do us a favor during the break. I don't know if it's 3.5, 4 minutes. Keep an eye on Marcel because he's not on our team. I don't want him stealing any stuff from us. Okay, keep an eye on Marcel Robinson. Zach? Can you do that? Keep an eye on that guy. His eyeballs are going to start looking around and trying to pick up intelligence. You keep an eye on him, Zach. We're coming back talking Jaguars talk and football with Marcel Robinson from Action Sports Jags.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jax with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.
All right, let's talk some Jaguar ball inside the huddle, if you will, inside the locker room. Marcel Robinson will join us from Action Sports Jax. He's part of the wonderful team that covers this team. And Patrick, I know a couple, 2-3 weeks ago, you started talking about what our team at Action Sports Jax does in terms of week to week to week, college, NFL, live shows, traveling shows.
Non-stop, man.
It is unbelievable.
If you're not with Action Sports, I don't know what you're doing.
You kidding me? These guys and these young ladies, they work hard, man. And we just kind of swoop in, Patrick, you and I, and grab these guys and these young ladies. And gosh, we're
Marcel, be careful of those microphone protectors. It's got a lot of debris on those things.
Oh, this ain't my first rodeo.
Be careful.
Marcel knows there's a lot of bacteria on those microphone protectors. Hey, buddy, how are you? We appreciate your time, Marcel. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, fellas. How you guys doing? Appreciate you for having me.
Good, man.
I'm well, and Marcel, as best I can tell, you just came out of the Jaguars locker room if we can bounce around some topics and answer as you can, as you know, I'm going to throw something out, and it's so non-definitive. It's kind of up in the air, but Marcel, off the football field, the Jaguars are 0-2. We get the on-football field stuff. It just seems to some people, and myself, is there something going on off the field? It just doesn't feel smooth. I don't know if there's a battle between philosophies or who's calling. And Patrick, you may agree. It just feels like there might be something off the field. What do you feel down there in the
team? Doesn't feel. I guess not in sync. They just don't feel like they're in sync.
Marcel, what do you feel down there?
Yeah, I don't think it's so much as things happening off the field. I think, for me personally, whenever I look at things like that, it comes down to the guys playing the game. It's the game of football is about the players on the field. So, as much stock as we put into the play calling, and look, it can always be better. It can always be worse, but it can always be better. But at the end of the day, it comes down to execution. I mean, being someone that's on the sideline that watches basically every play at home and the majority of the games on the road, it just comes down to simple execution. I was down in Miami. I was on the sideline of the game we just had here at the bank. And, I don't necessarily think it's an off-the-field type of thing. I think there's a lot of times that, you hear guys talk about the typical answers, right? We got to go out there. We got to execute. We got to, do what we're told to do. I think that in this case, I think that's accurate. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities that were missed. And when you're on the NFL professional level, you just can't miss.
Right. It's not like the Jags have gotten blown out where we're just like completely scratching our head on what in the world's going on. Like those are two winnable games, obviously. Gosh, do you feel, is there any, I guess the word now when you start 0-2, knowing the numbers, and obviously every team that's 0-2 right now, Marcel, is going to be and say, we're the 11%. That makes every team going to say that. Did you feel today like that sense of urgency kind of like from guys talking? Because, I mean, they're not going up against Carolina on Monday night.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
They're going against the undefeated Bills.
Yeah, and I think they're aware of that. I mean, they know what's ahead of them. And talking to all the guys that we spoke to today in the locker room, and Trevor included, they know what they're up against. This is one of the things that even head coach Doug Peterson said when we talked to him this morning, which is this is a benchmark game, if you will, because they know what they're up against, and the Bills are a good team, good offense, good quarterback, good system, good team on the road. But it's one of those things where if you want to be a good team, you got to beat good teams. And we talked to Gabe Davis in the locker room today, and he said, great teams win on the road. This is exactly what they know that they have to do. I think there is a bit of a sense of urgency. I think one of the best things that happened to them was, Trevor Lawrence post-game, on Sunday, in terms of just sort of, that whole accountability thing. And look, these are all professional athletes.
He said it, didn't he? Yeah. I'm not hating on him for what he said, but I was a little surprised that he was as blunt as he was. Pick it up there, Marcel.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to be, and that's leadership. Obviously we know Trevor Lawrence is typically not that kind of outspoken guy. He's not typically that kind of leader. But when you see what you saw in Miami and then you see what just happened on Sunday, sometimes you got to do something different. And obviously, he's frustrated, and we talked to all the guys today about what they thought of what he said and kind of that outspoken kind of expression. And they all said, hey, look, I mean, he didn't say anything that wasn't wrong. Obviously, we all talked about it, we all heard about it, and now it's time to pick things up and do what you got to do, and I think that's obviously the game.
Marcel, I think I've gotten this right. You obviously are deep with the Jaguars and have covered them a long time. Jacksonville has had a pretty good history. Jacksonville has had a pretty good history against Buffalo, including last year. Right? They won in London. This isn't London. I mean, Monday night is. And we can visit with you a little bit later during the week. But Monday night, walking into the Lions pit, kind of. I mean, Buffalo, they are good. They think they're good. They know they're on national TV. It ain't going to be easy. But, boy, if they could pull out a win somehow and get on that plane, could that right the seasons, the early season?
I mean, I just think getting a win in general, obviously it's a little bit more heightened because it is Monday Night Football. It is the national audience. It is the game. All eyes are on you. But ultimately, at the end of the day, and Patrick, you can probably speak to this, once, things get kicked off, once the game gets going, none of that other stuff really matters. You know, the lights and the cameras and all that stuff, none of it matters. It's just about going out there and executing football. You know, the noise only matters
Guys on the
leading
field.
up. Right. The noise and the chatter only matters leading up to the game. But you know, once that clock strikes and once that ball's kicked off, it's about playing football. Can a win? I think a win on Monday Night Football does more for us, you know, since the people watching gives us a little more confidence. But I think when you're talking about a team, you know, this is the biggest game for them to win because they need a freaking win.
Yeah, absolutely. I got two questions for you. I guess the first one, and I'll let you answer before doing the. Are you surprised at all with the offseason and the training camp and the draft? Are you surprised at all by the Jags being 0-2?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and obviously because for us, we're kind of immersed in it, right? So we are, you know, there every day for training camp, and we see the work they put in, everything like that. So, you know, naturally there's a little bit of visual bias for us, right? But, you know, I think for me it just goes deeper that these are, like, this is what we saw in training camp was a competent football team. You know, what we saw, you know, the sort of depth players, or lack thereof, if you will, like they looked like a competent football team. You know, the execution was there through training camp, through joint practices with the Bucks, and then, you know, to come out here and, you know, some of the mistakes that we're seeing are kind of surprising to us. I think probably even a little bit of surprise to them. You know, and I think that's sort of the surprise is could I see them being 0-2? Absolutely. I could also see them being 2-0. You know, the bigger surprise for me is just
those
the
were
way
games
it
that they were very winnable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then second part, a great, absolutely great answer, Marcel. Yeah, the second part is, you know, obviously they're not going to be able to address all the holes or all things that need to be fixed. If there was one thing the Jags could wave a magic wand to have solved for the remainder of the year, what is that thing you think it would be?
I mean, it's the trenches. I mean, obviously, offensive line. I mean, is the main one, but you know, but on both sides, you know, obviously the defensive line, they've been playing well, but they've wanted to play better. Obviously, want to get a little bit more pass rush. I mean, they kind of bad luck at the draw against a guy like Deshaun Watson, who's been an escape artist since, you know, he was you know, playing high school ball in Georgia. But you know,
it was
I think
unbelievable in Texas. It was unbelievable in Texas.
Yeah, but I think it's that, you know, as much as we love all, you know, the sexy skill positions and the quarterback and all that stuff, the game starts and ends in the trenches. If you can't protect Trevor, doesn't matter what weapons we have running around. If we can't get pressure, doesn't matter what DBs we have back there. And I think that the defense is definitely seemingly ahead of the offense at this point. But I think, you know, the offensive line and the protections and opening these gaps for the running game to get going is definitely the point of emphasis right now.
We're visiting with Marcel Robinson from our Action Sports Jags team. He obviously covers with our entire team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, in depth. He was in the locker room earlier today. Marcel, I hate to go back and bring up a player that's not wearing teal and black right now, but last year, at times, people, fans, whoever, kind of poked fun a little bit at Calvin Ridley, and they said, oh, look, he doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know the play. He ran the wrong route. With that said, Calvin Ridley is long gone. He is 2 games into his new team. He has 7 catches, a 40-yard touchdown catch. Mm-hmm. With that said, Marcel, the Jacksonville Jaguars offensively have had trouble getting the plays in time, getting the plays called in time, getting the plays run in time, and which leads me to believe, and I guess I'm just a hard ass, well, maybe it wasn't Calvin Ridley, maybe it was the system. Why do the Jacksonville Jaguars, with a returning multiple-year coaching staff, a returning quarterback, electronic communication in your ears, why are the Jaguars having so much trouble getting plays off? They almost took 2 separate delay of game penalties in a 3-play stanza if they didn't just burn 2 timeouts. And I don't know.
And it sucks when that happens and you still don't get the first down. Oh,
yeah. I think there's I think they're 2 separate issues. Honestly, I think that, you know, it's a case of 2 things can be true. You know, I think, you know, the Calvin Ridley situation, you know, it is what it was. You know, the well wishes to him. You know, nice guy. I talked to him a bunch of times. Well wishes to him. You know, a guy that was out of football for a long time. So I think there was a lot of, you know, those communication issues and just learning the game and the football stuff. And, you know, speaking on that, I think that, you know, that's a completely separate issue. I think in terms of the communication now, I mean, I mean, this is a relatively similar team than last year, but there are a lot of new pieces. Obviously you have, your captain of the offensive line is brand new, and Mitch Morse. You bring in newer guys in terms of the skill positions. You have Brian Thomas Jr., a rookie, getting used to the NFL. Gabe Davis in a new system, and of course, a lot of the language is kind of the same. And I'm not saying where the communication issue, where the issues are, because we don't know. Truthfully, at the end of the day, we don't know who's calling plays, whether it's Doug or Press. We don't know if the issues in the communication, as they're approaching the line of scrimmages, whether it's a protection, whether it's guys not getting lined up. The only thing we know is what we see. And I think that goes back to the previous point about it being such a surprise, is because you had all of training camp. You had, albeit limited, but you had snaps in the preseason to work on these things, and everything seemed to be, okay for the most part. And I think that goes back to what we were talking about with it being such a surprise that, they can't get lined up right. Guys are in the wrong spots, as far as, picking out protections and guys in the wrong spots and things like that. So where the communication issue lies, we'll never have an answer to it until somebody writes a book and says X, Y, and Z was calling plays for the 2024 season.
Missed the game. Patrick, I'm going to jump in real quick. We got a few more moments with Marcel Robinson from Action Sports Jags. Marcel, let's switch to the college game real quick. Obviously, you covered that as well with Action Sports Jags. And we've covered Florida and Florida State ad nauseum here the last several days. Not as much the Georgia Bulldogs. I know you cover that program as well. Boy, 13-12.
He's a fan, too. He's a fan.
Yeah, at 13-12, Kentucky probably had a shot to win the damn game. Yeah. My takeaway watching Georgia this year, and I want your thoughts as well, to me, and you've seen this when programs, I don't care if it's pro, college, football, baseball, basketball, you see this a little bit. When programs are so freaking successful, like Georgia has been, to me, it looks like Kirby Smart, the head coach of Georgia Bulldogs, is having trouble stirring up his guys. Unless the week going into the game, the Georgia football team knows we're playing number 3 Alabama. We're playing number 4 Oklahoma. We're playing number 2 Tennessee. It looks like Kirby's having a little trouble, and Patrick throws out a phrase, the human element or whatever. What do you see? Georgia's much better than a 13-12 win over Kentucky the other night, where they kind of escaped.
I think that it's nothing, dissimilar to what we've seen from Georgia in the past. They've historically been bad in their opening SEC game on the road. We've had Georgia had this issue with Kentucky a few years back. Had the same issue where they almost lost to Missouri a few years back.
Agreed.
I don't.
I remember that game.
And so I remember being in the hotel room with no Wi-Fi, having to watch that game on my phone. But I think it's one of those things where I don't think Kirby has a problem getting his guys going, because that's never been an issue for him. I mean, because if you think about that, you think about all the times when they've played, they don't typically just beat teams to sleep all the time. So they'll have some of these kind of closer games like this, but I think it's just a matter of you get punched in the mouth. I think Georgia has some things that they're trying to figure out too. I think they're and we can't
and still like they're trying to fill in the Lad McConkey and Brock Bauer hole.
Brock Bauer, I think that's
what percentage
key.
of their offense was that?
Yeah, I think a lot of, and it's different too, because you lose a guy like Brock Bowers, who's irreplaceable, obviously. A guy like Lad McConkey, who's just a certified playmaker, and I think this particular core, this receiving unit, is very different. You have Dylan Bell, who's a kind of a Swiss Army knife do-it-all guy that played a lot of running back last year. They're lining him out wide a little bit more. You get a guy like Dominic Lovett, who's playing well, but he's not. He's kind of like that Lad McConkey type guy. And then even Colby Young, the wide receiver transfer from Miami. I had a chance to kind of get with these guys over the summer and watch them all work out. I just think it's a different offense. The problem with Georgia right now is they struggle when they're not able to run the ball. And that was the thing against Kentucky that was surprising, which even, by the way, give Kentucky credit. They have a great defensive front. But when Georgia can't run the ball, they struggle. You got to get a guy like Nate Frazier, who was excellent versus Clemson. He can't really get going. Branson Robinson had 2 touches in that game versus Kentucky. One of them was a touchdown, of course. But, when it's just football at any level. When you struggle running the ball, you struggle to pass the ball.
And as we go to break, and we thank Marcel Robinson. Marcel, I can't guarantee this is the case, but the other night in Lexington, after the stinker performance Kentucky put up against South Carolina the week before, that was kind of it was a night game. Night games in Lexington can really be stirred up. That's a good home crowd at night more than the day. Florida's gotten caught in that mess a few times.
Absolutely.
That was their Super Bowl. They probably played their guts out. But, yeah, I'm with you, though. I think a couple of situations happened in that game where, hey, wait a minute. Let's throw it to Brock Bowers. Oh, we don't have Brock Bowers. Hey, wait a minute. Let's throw it here late in the third quarter with the crowd. Let's throw it to McConkey. Well, we don't have McConkey. And, man, I know McConkey never looked like a guy that would shape a football game. He made a lot of plays. He made a lot of plays. So,
are you serious? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Stud.
He made a lot of plays. Marcel, as we let you go, just a 30-second thumbnail. What the hell do you see happening in Gainesville? I mean, the rest of the year, the coaching situation, where do you see Gainesville going? My God, what a mess.
I mean, obviously,
he's like, you saw him smile. You saw a smile come out right when you started talking about it.
He's a professional, Patrick Young. He's a professional. He doesn't pull for any certain team.
Yeah, my fan bias is aside. Obviously, I'm just a fan of the game. You never really want to see, what's happening with, Billy Napier and everything. But I think at this point, it's a foregone conclusion. Sure. I've talked about this kind of situation with Beaver for years. I didn't necessarily think that he was the guy for that particular mess that he inherited, and I didn't think he was the type of guy to bring them out of the abyss. So I think we're just going to see a lot worse until they decide that it's time to pull the trigger. It's just a matter of time at this point, unfortunately. But I mean, at this point, we have guys, recruits talking about leaving. So
Marcel, we've gone way long, but real quick, I think we're coming out of the Jaguar locker room.
Thanks, man.
Coming up on Action Sports Jags, Action News Jags. Is there anything you want to plug? Things you got out of the locker room today, sound, anything like that people can expect to hear coming up and see here over the next couple hours on Action Sports Jags?
Yeah, of course. Tonight we have Jaguars All Access at 7 o'clock. That's coming up. And, through the weekend and heading into Monday night, we'll have a bunch of shows, countdown to kickoff, and Action Sports Jags prime time on the weekends where you hear from the guys. And, they're saying all the right things. It's just a matter of going out there and doing it. So that's pretty much where we're at.
Hey, good stuff. Marcel Robinson, part of our Action Sports Jags
Is that
team.
Springs?
He was in the dadgum locker room today. You don't get it much more fresh than that. Thank you, Marcel, for your time. Let's take a break. We're in the second hour of the Young and Norvelle show. Patrick Young, I don't know what you're doing.
Thanks,
just
Marcel.
hang tight. You're going nowhere, Patrick. You stay there. We've got a lot of stuff.
Do I not look like I'm hanging tight?
Yeah.
Does this this looks like hang tight? This is a tight hang.
That is a, hey, how you
Shut
doing? We
your
got somebody saying
filthy
hi. Come here and say hi to Patrick Young. See Patrick Young? What's your name? Who are you?
Hi there.
Yeah, I know. You've been here before, right? There's Madeline. Remember Madeline from a couple of months ago?
That went out to the beach and said some awesome words.
Right? Yeah. You going to eat some dinner? Good to see you again. Sliders is the best place.
Thank you, Madeline.
Good job, Madeline. Good job. We're going to break, but good. Yeah. Nice. That's a good commercial. Johnny Pop at the Oyster Bar. Thank you, sweetie. Good to see you again. That is Madeline checking in with you, Patrick Young. There you go. Best place to eat, she said.
I'm mad. She gave you a hug. She gave you
a lot of ladies. Hey, let me tell you something, Patrick, as we break. LLTN. Ladies love Terry Norvelle. Okay? All right? Right? You know that, Patrick, right? They love this from Terry. I'm so sweet and innocent. I'm sweet and innocent. Sweet and innocent guy. Take a break here. Zach Rothrock producing and hitting all the buttons. He's telling us, we're losing connection. When I start talking sweet, we lose connection about me. But if it was Patrick Young, it's fine. Hey, we're cruising through. Fun Thursday edition.
Always connected, brother.
We'll take it to the top of the hour right here. I'm set up on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar featuring Safe Harbor Seafood.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jags Beach features all that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jags Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jags Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jags with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.
Okay, as if the Florida Gator football situation is not tough enough, as we welcome you back, the Young and Norvelle Show coming to you live. I am at the on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar. Of course, they feature the Safe Harbor seafood, which is from right there. You want seafood, you want fresh seafood, you want seafood prepared to your liking, to your specification. You can't go wrong. It is ridiculous how close, right out of the ocean, that seafood is on your plate right here at Sliders Oyster Bar. You know the Oyster Bar, Johnny Pop's serving it up right now, and the legendary Julie behind the full-service bar with great kind of beach fun local cocktails, in addition to all the standard cocktails you know and that you order. Come down, say hi at Sliders Oyster Bar today, this weekend, anytime. It's a great fun hangout. You can't go wrong at Sliders Oyster Bar. Things to get to here in the final hour. Some college football. Want to throw some college football out. And it looks like Eli Manning will get the Arch Manning will get the start for Tennessee, for Texas, as Quinn Ewers is banged up, may be out for a couple of weeks. boy, just what Texas needs. Arch Manning, I think, will fill in admirably. He'll be fine. Quinn Ewers is Quinn Ewers. Just what Texas needs going into next season. I know the Longhorns are looking toward this year as maybe a big season, but my goodness gracious, no matter what happens with the quarterback situation at Texas in Austin, it looks like it's just going to come out smelling like roses. Either Quinn Ewers is back quickly from injury and he just leads Texas on, maybe, or Arch Manning gets, 50, 60, 70, 80 game reps, passing game reps, and he is ready to go when they hand the ball to him. And there's no question he will have some tape and he will have some game action under his belt. Oh, good situation at Texas, definitely. Thursday night NFL football comes up tonight. New England at the Jets. You got to follow it a little bit, but New England is in total rebuild mode. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, New England, New York Jets could have been a lot better a few years ago, definitely on Monday Night Football. Question, thought, and I may even get Zach Rothrock, our producer, in on this. You've probably seen where the Carolina Panthers have gone ahead and benched, and your world is kind of Carolina. You're a big South Carolina guy, born and raised, I think, in that area.
Yeah, I'm from about an hour south of Charlotte. Yeah,
and you follow the Gamecocks in that area, which is a beautiful area, the Low Country and all that. Word is that they're going to sit down Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mixed on this, Zach. I think Bryce Young is talented. I think he is all of Tua, and Tua is good when he's healthy in the NFL. I'm kind of correlating Alabama quarterback. My goodness. Zach, on the surface, if you handpick at the quarterback position, Tom Brady at his best ever, Peyton Manning at his best ever, Terry Bradshaw at his best ever, Joe Montana at his best ever, Torrey Aikman, on and on and on. Zach, could anybody perform at quarterback on that franchise, the Carolina Panthers? Is Bryce kind of a scapegoat? Did he have a chance with that team?
Yeah, in their current state, and I don't even know that necessarily them benching him is necessarily the end of the road for him for that reason. Pretty much everyone looks at that offensive line, the skill position players, and they're just say, what are you supposed to do with it? To answer that initial question, I think the only quarterback that could have ever done anything with that team would be like prime Michael Vick, who would just be running for his life. I think that's about what it would take.
With legs, and I get it. I would prefer my franchise to try some moves than not try some moves, right? That's just me. Instead of if I keep hitting my thumb with a hammer, I would prefer moving my thumb at some point than keep hitting, right? But man, it seems like I saw that Panther team here in Jacksonville, and I've at the end of the last year in person. I was in the press box and I saw that team, and I've seen Carolina the first few weeks. Zach, they're terrible.
Oh yeah, they're like the bad news bears. They get in each other's way and fall down on defense.
They are terrible.
Yeah, and I don't really know. I think they've got the right head coach. I think Dave Canales is the right head coach.
Yeah.
He was with Seattle for Geno Smith's best season. He turned Baker Mayfield around in Tampa. So I do think they got the right coach. And I do think that benching Bryce Young for this week probably is the right move because you got the Oakland Raiders coming to town. And not that the Raiders are necessarily the best team in the NFL by any means, but their pass rush with Max Crosby, they do have one of the better pass rushes. And frankly, it's probably just good for the betterment of Bryce Young's health and the better health, just the rest of the team. Someone's going to get killed out there. You got to protect him.
It may be from a Bryce Young agent, Bryce Young family situation. It may be a blessing in disguise. Obviously, at Bryce Young's age, the NFL is not going to write him off. even if he gets banished out of
Right.
Carolina, they're not going to write him off. He's got another 1 or 2 chances, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, he can go the Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, who was just part of that Carolina QB room, he's kind of had a resurgence with the Vikings, and Baker Mayfield, same thing, resurgence with the Buccaneers. Definitely not the end of the road by any means.
So you may be better off if you're Bryce Young, his agent, his family, saying, "Hey, man, you know what? Most of the people know what's going on. That nobody under center could do anything with this franchise. Hey, let's get our guy out of there. Let's let Carolina decide that they'll go find a veteran quarterback. Okay, get us out of here." Bryce Young may be thinking, and his people, get us the hell out of here.
Yeah, and now Andy Dalton has to go out there and be the sacrificial lamb. It's just, I don't really know.
And God bless Andy Dalton. He is what he is, right? Andy Dalton is one of their 32 starting quarterback. Andy Dalton is, in the 20s when it comes to starting quarterbacks.
For sure.
Even in his best day, Andy Dalton was Andy Dalton. God bless him. And you know what? By starting, I think he probably gets to make a little more money. Probably.
Potentially.
Good for him. Florida State. We started talking about the Gators and the Seminoles early in the show. Let's get back to them real quick. Boy, bad news for Florida. They go on the road, first road game. The program is discombobulated. They're at Starkville. Mississippi State's not very good. First-year coach Jeff Lebby. They got upset and beat at home by Toledo. But you got to believe this will be a little bit of Mississippi State's Super Bowl, because they look at their schedule and they go, we don't have a lot of potential sexy wins. And, oh, by the way, Eugene Wilson, probably the Gators' best kind of Percy Harvin wiggle guy, he's out. Zach, not a lot looks good for the Gators going up to Stark Vegas, I should say.
Yeah, they'll probably have to lean pretty heavy on the run game. I don't really know how successful that's going to be. I mean, I'm honestly really surprised that they are 6-point favorites in this game. I guess I don't really know much about. I mean, I saw that Mississippi State's already lost a couple games.
Know Mississippi State. We don't know Mississippi State, and obviously their first year coach. They got upset, but pick up where you're at. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you're right. They must be just a mess right now. But they're at home with the Cowbells, early kickoff.
Yeah. And oh God, the Cowbells always make it really difficult. That's got to be one of the most annoying things to have to deal with as a road team. I don't see how the Gators. I was honestly thinking earlier today about how, I don't know that I would necessarily pick the Gators to beat any SEC team outside of Vanderbilt. So to have them, right. Yeah, this is like the 1 year the first time they don't
play Vandy. By the way, I don't want to rub salt in the wound, but if Florida had Vanderbilt on the schedule this year, Vanderbilt beat them last year, Vanderbilt would probably be on a 2-game winning streak over the Gators. Here's another issue with Florida and the football program, and it is what it is. You know what? When you hit rock bottom, you hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Zach, I'm not sure, and Patrick, I'm not sure if you are aware of this. There is a stipulation in Division I football.
Turn it away from me.
If you play 4 games or less and then shut it down, you can save your eligibility year. So I think Florida football might be, and I'm not calling Eugene Wilson out on this, but Eugene Wilson played the first 2 games, the Miami game and the Samford game. He had a big game against Samford. He had like 9 touches and almost 200 yards, blah, 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 blah. Well, he dressed for warm-ups and did not play against A&M, and he's already been ruled out against Mississippi State, right? And I'm not calling him out. I don't know, but you wonder if Eugene Wilson is doing what some other Gator football players may do. They may be going, well, wait a minute. Patrick, I don't know if you can see me. Wait a minute. I don't want to play 4 games. I'm injured, wink, wink. I don't want to burn a year because this is a burn year. wow, if that's the case and a bunch of Gator players go, I'm going to save a year of eligibility, I'm injured, Patrick, that could get real ugly in Gainesville.
I mean, I just wonder what how the fan base will react to that, because I think the kids will be doing a service to themselves to get another extra year.
Yeah.
And that would help so much with whoever is coming in next to have, because obviously I think if you take, you obviously can still hit the transfer portal, but
yeah,
maybe you're more likely to keep some of those guys depending on who's hired.
But, keep in mind, and people out there may be going, and Zach and Patrick, let me explain this. People out there watching and listening may go, hey, Einstein, Terry Norvelle, this is game 3, not game 4. If you play 4 or more games into the 4th game, you burn a year of eligibility. Well, here's where I back up. And I'm not saying he's doing this, but let's use Eugene Wilson for an example. Going into game 3 this Saturday in Starkville, if you're Eugene Wilson and you and your people have said, hey, man, we're getting out of here, man. This is a mess. They're changing coaches. This is a mess. Why don't we save a year? Well, you could say, well, wait a minute. He could play this Saturday. That's only game 3, not game 4. Okay. But, Patrick, keep in mind, if you know you're going to transfer out of Florida and you're trying to save a year, you might say, wait a minute. I don't want to run on the field Saturday and risk blowing my knee out or my shoulder out or getting concussed for the 3rd time, right? It could get ugly from a roster depletion standpoint for Florida with that rule. It could get ugly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if that's a decision that you're making, that means honestly, I think it's a decision you're making, like, that you're already going to be thinking about the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And that's fair. I think that's very fair for a guy to be thinking that.
What? Because if you're transferring out and you're trying to save your year, this is game 3. Okay, game 3 will not burn your year, so why not go in? Well, what if I'm playing game 3, I'm not coming back to Gainesville, and I blow my freaking knee out? I don't want to play game 3.
Right.
I don't.
I think it makes you even more valuable to have more years of eligibility than being a one and done guy. Like, I guarantee you, Miami right now, if they would stab their mama. Somebody would stab their mama if they can get another year out of Cam Ward, but they only got him for 1.
Good point. Good point. He's Patrick Young. I'm Terry Norvelle. Let's take a break here. We got about a half hour to wrap up the show on a Thursday. A couple of other topics, including what does FSU do? FSU is 0-3, not 0-2. They're 0-3. Do the Noles make a move at quarterback? Is it that point of the season? What do the Noles do at quarterback? And, Patrick, we've got to visit, as we're winding down, under 10 games, Major League Baseball. Oh, the Braves are running out of games. They won again last night, but they're just running out of games. And, Patrick Young, your favorite Major League Baseball team, the Chicago White Sox, they lost again. We'll tell you what number they're sitting on. That and a whole lot more. Starting to wrap up the final half an hour on a Thursday, the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you from the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jags with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.
All right, back here on a Thursday edition, the Young and Norvelle Show. Terry Norvelle sitting right here. You know where it's at by now. The Young and Norvelle Show on Thursday. We are always at Sliders Oyster Bar down in Neptune Beach. Patrick Young joining us. Zach Rothrock producing everything. Gentlemen, I have to throw this out. I hate to be Debbie Downer. We've got about a half an hour left on the show. Can you guys promise me? I need a promise, a pinky swear from you, Patrick Young, and Zach Rothrock. Can you guys pinky swear promise me that this coming up football weekend, and I'll say all the way through Monday Night Football because the Jaguars play Monday night, okay? So I'm going to say this coming up football weekend all the way through Monday at midnight. Can you, Patrick Young, and can you, Zach Rothrock, our producer, can you guys please promise me that the folks, the football fans of Northeast Central Florida, we will not have another absolute worst football weekend in the history of our area? Last weekend was the worst football weekend, I think, ever. The Jaguars were miserable. The 3 teams we really cover. The Jaguars were beyond miserable. The Gators, I left in the third quarter. And the Seminoles were embarrassed by a group of 5. Can you guys promise me by midnight Monday night we will not face that again? Patrick Young, what say you?
Who's Florida State play?
California, who went into Auburn and beat the brakes off of Auburn. And California looked bigger stronger and faster than Auburn a couple weeks ago.
As you said, they got out footballed.
They got out football. They got beat at football. No, it wasn't a tip pass, the final possession. It wasn't a bad call with 5 minutes left. California went into Auburn, Alabama, and beat the snot out of Auburn.
Yeah.
Pick it up, Patrick Young. Can you promise me I can't take another weekend like we just had?
I don't think so. So. How can we? We're talking about Florida State not having a great chance, figuring out their quarterback.
Patrick, are you saying the Jaguars will win on Monday night? Are you saying the Gators will win in Starkville? Are you saying FSU will bail everybody out?
By saying I can't promise you a good weekend, what is that saying, Terry?
I think you better go with FSU in Tallahassee, eking one out, because I don't like the Gators. Zach Rothrock, you just heard everything I said.
I did.
I want you to tell me what should I be okay with. I'm not going to get kicked in the giblets this weekend like we all did last weekend.
Yeah, I'm literally looking at the one that I could see being the most positive, and it's really hard. I'm probably with you saying the FSU in Tallahassee over California is probably the most likely.
Why?
Because I got to pick one. I really don't see the Jaguars beating the Bills.
Yes.
I really don't see the Gators going in and winning one on the road at Mississippi State. It's like, I mean, if I got to see one that's got like the slightest chance of maybe possibly happening, it is FSU with their, according to Coach Mike Norvelle, with their toughest schedule in the history of college football as they host the California Golden Bears.
I'm with you there. Now, a spinoff question. If you're Mike Norvelle and the Florida State Seminoles, you're 0-3. The Gators are 0-2. The Seminoles played extra game because they started week 0.
Yeah.
You're 0-3, guys. Do you, at the beginning of the game, make a quarterback change, or do you let the game play out and maybe trail by 14? I think FSU might need to, and I don't know if it's Brock Glenn or the 5-star, future they think. Luke, what's his name? I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Do you make a change at quarterback if you're FSU right out of the gate?
That's actually something I heard Brent Beer talk about with Shane Matthews on their show. They basically said, that could come eventually, but it's going to be tough given how much DJ Uiagalelei, how much he's being paid, how much invested money and time they have in him, because it's kind of become the NFL in that sort of way.
You can leave. Yeah, you can leave after registration.
Yeah, like they don't.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What's the bigger value? Whatever they're paying DJU per game, which would be this Saturday in Tallahassee, or another loss on the loss ledger in the grand, right? What's more valuable?
This has got to be the last frontier. If he were to go out there and be bad this week, I feel like their depth chart right now says Brock Glenn would be number 2. I don't know how official that is.
Brock
and
Glenn.
Luke Cromenhoek.
Brock Glenn, yeah.
Yeah. Cromenhoek could be the number 3, just according to their depth chart online.
And he's the 5-star high recruit, but he hasn't played a bit. Brock Glenn has played a little bit, including the end of last year.
Yeah, he's a redshirt
FSU fan. I think FSU fan is Patrick clamoring for a change. What do you do if you're FSU? Do you go ahead and make the move?
How could you not? How could you not want a change? And I don't know what Norvelle is hanging his hat on making this decision, because it's
now
you want to build hope for your fan base for the next year, obviously.
I've got a couple topics we're going to get to here in the final half hour, but I want to touch base with you guys tomorrow. We've already done our show picks for today. We did them today, so we're in show versus show versus show versus show. We're in, and we're a game back, guys. We're going to win that. Are you guys confident we're going to win that? Right, Zach? Team confidence.
I'm relatively confident.
Patrick,
I think we did
not super confident, but maybe.
Okay, we're going to do it. If Patrick doesn't screw things up, we're going to win that. Now, when it comes to tomorrow, we're going to make our picks. I want you guys now start thinking about your 3 picks. I've got mine down. Okay, this is me versus you versus you. off $100. Zach, you had a tough week. My homework assignment to you don't have to tell us now, but get your 3 games together. I want to know who your game is, who's the home team, who's the visiting team, and what the points are, okay? Are you ready, Zach? Are you ready for tomorrow?
I will be. Yeah. I'm going to take a little bit more time.
Patrick Young, are you getting ready for tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, we'll be ready.
I've doubled you right now, Patrick. You know that, right?
Oh, I've never heard you say that before.
I'm just saying.
Not once. I've never heard you say that one time.
Shut your...
And then the next thing I've never heard you say is that we're not going against each other.
No, we're not. We're not. But
yeah, sure.
And you know what? And you know what, Pat? If you and Zach beat me in this our one-on-one 3-pack weekly, it's no big deal. I don't care. It's no, dude. Are you kidding me? I may just
actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, you're damn right. Let's take a break here. Final break on the show. Been a busy, fun Thursday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. When we come back, guys, we got to throw this out. And I'm not happy that I'm kind of right here, but maybe, and I want you to, Zach Rothrock, Patrick Young, I want you to speak to this. Folks watching this show, maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars just aren't real good. Everybody wants to talk about, oh, the play calling is wrong, or the alignment is wrong, or who they're feeding the football to is wrong. Well, guys, could it possibly be none of that? It might be, well, the Jacksonville Jaguars just aren't real good. We'll talk about that, our final segment on a Thursday, coming to you live from Sliders Oyster Bar.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, slowly wrapping up a Thursday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. You know it by now. We're at Sliders Oyster Bar every single Thursday. You probably started to figure it out. Patrick Young, Terry Norvelle, Zach Rothrock, our entire gang. We have set days every day of the week. You can come hang out with us at our different locations, or make sure you follow the show on the stream. You can check out our show on all of the leading social media platforms. Just bang in Young and Norvelle, Facebook and YouTube and things like that, and it'll pull up. We've had a fun show, diverse show today. Guys, a little bit of baseball talk. Boy, the Braves are playing pretty good right now, but the problem is they win, the Mets win. They win, the Mets win. So the Braves are running out of games. Patrick, I think the Braves only have like 9 games left, or 8 or 9 games. They do have 3 with the Mets left, but they're back. They're trailing in the wild card by 2 games. They also closed the season with Kansas City, who they need wins. So the Braves have a tough final week and a half. They're kind of running out of games, Patrick, and they're getting squeezed because if you keep just winning and they win, and you win and they win, well, the Mets are 2 games ahead right now. All of a sudden, when you get to 3 games left, well, the math says you're out. Braves are struggling right now. Yeah, it is tough. I want to tip my hat, Patrick, and you and I have had fun following baseball all summer. It's been a fun race.
I miss college ball.
I do too. College baseball is wonderful. But Patrick, we followed this American League, excuse me, the American League East, the Yankees and the Orioles. Man, they battled. I'm telling you, it's over now. The Yankees have clinched a playoff spot. They haven't clinched the division yet, but the Yankees are up now 4 games. I think, or actually 5 games.
Did you see how the Yankee game ended last night?
No. Tell me about it.
I can't remember who was batting, but there was a guy. It was 2-1. Guy on third, and the batter loses his bat. He swings it, and it goes right at the guy who was on third. And the runner, he avoided the bat and kind of had a whoo, man, that was close. And he kept walking away. The catcher throws it to third base and tag him out.
And they tagged him out.
Him out. Yep.
He thought it was a foul ball or play was out.
I think it was a double. It was a double play because it was a strikeout. It was a strikeout, and the guy's his bat came out of his hands, and I think the officials, the umpires, honestly should have maybe gave a time on that, because how the guy had to avoid a bat.
Wow, interesting.
But that's how the game ended. They won 2-1.
Interesting, but you know what? Number one, you have to tip your hat to the Yankees, and number 2, you can't bury the Orioles. Here's the deal: if you haven't followed baseball all season, that damn American League East battle between the Yankees and Orioles, I'm telling you, Patrick, up until within the last week, I don't know if they were separated by more than 2 games. It was the Orioles up by 2 games, the Yankees up by a game, the Orioles up by a half a game, the Yankees up by a game. They went back and forth, about 150 games. And finally, this week, Patrick, I don't know if you've noticed it, the Yankees now have a 5-game lead in the division. They're going to win the division. The Orioles blinked finally. But here's the key. The Yankees get in as the division winner. They're going to clinch the division soon. And that has benefits. Winning the division has benefits in terms of how many home games and who do you host. But if you're the Orioles, don't you just catch your breath and say, hey, man, hey, we didn't win the division, but we're in the playoffs, and we know we can beat the Yankees. They've beaten the Yankees several times this year.
Get healthy.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Rest some guys, prep them up, as best you can. You're in. You don't win a championship at the end of the regular season. No. So, yeah, it'd be very – Hey, how about Ohtani's got a chance, man. He only needs 2 home runs to be the first 50-50 player in MLB history.
Because he got the 50 stolen bases?
He got the stolen bases, yep. Needs 2 more. Wow. He's at 48 home runs. Just needs 2 more.
Wow. And you know what? They swear the plan is he's going to be on the mound next year too. They swear that. And he wants to, man. You know what? Part of me says, why? And then part of me says, why not? I mean, the guy's 30, 31 years old. He'll start winding down. As long as he doesn't hurt his team, why not? If he starts hurting his team, you pull him out. But right, Patrick, why not? This is historic stuff, man.
Yeah, the question is if Dodgers end up winning the pennant, the World Series, it's like, we won it without you pitching. We don't need to risk
That's
getting
a good
hurt.
Point, man. Hey, that is a great point because the Dodgers then could say, well, wait a minute, Ohtani. If we won it all with you being the best position player in Major League Baseball, why would we even want to risk that you are cutting a couple of years off of your career by trying to do multiple things? Let's see if we can ride you for 5 years instead of 3 years, right?
How long was this contract? Was it a 10-year contract you signed, or how long was it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. But, man, you look at some of the potential matchups, and we've talked about this before, Patrick. Nobody in the Major League Baseball home office in New York, nobody will say this, but, oh, my God, can you believe how bad they want the New York Yankees to survive the American League playoffs and the Los Angeles Dodgers to survive the National League? You'll have coast to coast. You'll have history. You'll have Aaron Judge, Ohtani, who, by the way, there's not really one MVP, as I understand it. They name MVP, National League, MVP, American League, Cy Young winner. I may be wrong, but I don't think they do one overall. Patrick, can you imagine those two guys locking horns in a 7-game World Series and everybody's going, okay, somebody's going to win it all? Let's find out who was the MVP this year.
Right, yeah.
Was it Ohtani or was it Judge? Because, Patrick, their numbers are incredible. Judge's numbers are off the chart, man.
Yeah, having fantastic years. And there was a lot of questions for Aaron Judge, like, why do you sign a guy that's on the downslide of his prime so much money? And he's proven that doesn't matter. I mean, look, you still got strength and muscle and you can swing that bat, man. Gosh. And he's shown that he's a pretty good, solid guy you can rely on out in the outfield as well.
And he hasn't missed a beat. I mean, it wasn't like that.
He did have that toe injury. He had that toe injury earlier this year off the catch.
Yes. But, it wasn't like Aaron Judge had a run where he hit 212, but then he hit 580, to cover it. This guy has been, same with Ohtani. They have been smashing the baseball from the opening pitch, smashing the baseball. And it's been fun. And you asked the question to Cade Kistner, our baseball guy, the other day. Man, I know it was one and done, but Soto's got to play somewhere next year.
Yeah.
Why not back with the Yankees, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to be able to pay him the most, and I'm pretty sure they want him back. He's looked fantastic in those pinstripes, man.
What a year he's put.
Yeah.
What a year.
He's the most patient batter. Isn't he the most patient batter in the MLB?
It's Patrick. It's so funny you said that. Last night, I told you I was kind of like doing some family stuff, and I got in I got in late. I got in, 9:45, which is a little bit late, but I had some family stuff to take care of. I get in, Patrick. I let my dog Penny out. I feed her. I get settled. I get my clothes off. Get my casual clothes on, and I turn on the TV, and the Yankees are up to bat, and Soto is up to bat, right? Your guy. And I was like, well, let me see what happens here. I think it was a decent game. I said, well, before I let Penny out, let me see what. Dude, he fouled off and fouled off and fouled off. And then Judge came up and fouled off and fouled off. And you're like, dude, these guys, if they see enough pitches, they're going to hit one 430 feet.
Yeah.
Right?
They prove a point with that. Is like, hey, man, you're not going to beat us.
Yes. And they just kept saying, okay, if you keep throwing it, if you can't get me out, I'm going to eventually hit it about 435 feet. So, yeah, baseball wrapping up. Looks like the Braves, the Braves need every win they can get. And the lovable Chicago White Sox, 117 losses and counting. That'll wrap it up. I hope we see you folks down on the other end of the beach tomorrow. The Young and Norvelle Show will come to you live from Bricks, Jags Beach. That'll wrap it up for Zach, our producer, and, of course, that guy, Patrick Young. I'm Terry Norvelle. Have a great rest of your Thursday, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Young and Norvelle Show.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks, Jags Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks, Jags Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks, Jags Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jags with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices or pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports. is local sports. From Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast, Bakersport.com.